How can you write an essay fast and get a top score? In this video, I'm going to show you how. There are 6 parts to this video, and they all work together to make your essay writing lightning quick. The 6 high-speed essay writing elements are prompt, plan, essay structure, sentence structures, grammar, and proof. Before we look at each of these elements in detail, make sure you click that subscribe button for high-quality English language learning videos. Let's start with the prompt. It doesn't matter which test you're taking, IELTS, PT, TOEFL, or what type of essay you're writing, argumentative, persuasive, discursive, you will always receive some type of essay prompt. And you need to firstly read this prompt, not once, not twice, but at least 3 times. It may seem like a waste of time to read the prompt again, and again, but it will actually save you time because what you need to do is balance efficiency with quality. In IELTS, the #1 reason people fail to get the writing score they want is not because of their grammar or their vocab or their structure, it's because they write off topic. That is, they don't read the question prompt carefully enough. Take a look at this prompt here. It says, some people prefer to prepare for their English exams online, while others like to prepare with a teacher in a classroom. Which of the two is the most efficient way to prepare for an English exam? This question is asking about efficiency. Which of the 2 options, online learning or classroom-based learning, will prepare you most quickly for an exam? It's not asking about effectiveness, it's not asking about price, it's not asking about enjoyment. The reason why you stop and read the question prompt several times over is so that you can understand what it is the examiner or teacher wants you to write about specifically. So once you've understood the prompt, you then need to plan. Again, planning might seem like a waste of time. I mean, we've already spent 1 minute reading the question prompt 3 times, but planning, I can assure you, will save you a lot of time. One of the worst things you can do on test day is start writing without a plan. Get halfway through your essay, realize what you've written is junk, and start again. A good plan is like driving to a destination with Google Maps. You won't get lost. There are good and bad ways to plan your essay. Here's the best way. You need to ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is, which side am I on? Am I for or against the prompt? For this prompt, what do I believe? Well, for me, I'll argue that preparing online is much faster than preparing at a school. That's my main argument. And this argument will run like a thread throughout my whole essay. Now that I know which side I'm taking, I need to think about my 2 main arguments in support of it. My first argument is that you can study online whenever you want, whereas a school is only open at certain times of the day. I'll write about this in my first body paragraph. My second argument is that you can study wherever you want, whereas a school has a specific location that you need to travel to, which wastes time. So in under 60 seconds, I've determined which side I'm taking. In this case, I'm for preparing online. And to support my viewpoint, I'm going to write 1 paragraph about the efficiency of studying whenever you want, and I'll write another paragraph about the efficiency of studying from wherever you want. Now that I know my plan, I can begin writing and incorporate it into my essay structure. If you haven't seen this video yet, then I highly recommend you do. It goes through the ultimate essay structure in detail. It's a very important video. Just to recap the structure briefly, your essay will have an introduction that has a set structure. Your essay will also have paragraphs. Each paragraph has a set structure. And your essay will have a conclusion that also has a set structure. It won't take you long to learn how to write an essay using the E2 essay structure. All you need to do is write a couple of practice essays and all of a sudden you'll memorize it. The structure has to be the greatest time-saving tool you have. You know that the intro starts with this sentence followed by this sentence, etc. You're then putting your ideas onto a solid framework so that your ideas flow logically from beginning to end. It kind of goes structure, ideas, language. Essay structure is one thing, but sentence structures are the other. So your essay is made of paragraphs, and your paragraphs are made of sentences. There are 4 different sentence types in English. There are simple sentences, like I prefer to study online. There are compound sentences, like I prefer to study online because it is most efficient. There are complex sentences. Because of its efficiency, I prefer to study online. And there are compound complex sentences. Because of its efficiency, I prefer to study online, and I do this with E2. I won't go into the ins and outs of the differences between simple, compound, complex, and compound complex sentences here, but if you want to find out more, then check out e2english.com by clicking the link in the description below. You can take our free courses on English grammar. If essays are made of paragraphs and paragraphs are made of sentences, then what are sentences made of? Grammar and vocabulary, of course. So the prompt, the plan, the structure, the sentences, these are all fine, but on test day, you're under pressure to write. Maybe you need to write more than 200 words in 20 minutes, or more than 250 words in 40 minutes. Either way, you need to know how to string your sentences together. Now, understand this. Every sentence has a verb. There's a verb in every sentence in English. Verbs are the most important part of English grammar. There are 16 different verb types in English. In essay writing, however, there are only 3 verbs that are most commonly used. You don't need to write all the different verb types in English into your essay. You just need to concentrate on present simple, like I use E2 English, or past simple, I used E2 English, or the present perfect, I have used E2 English. So they're the 3 verb types that you need to use in your essays, but you also need to understand that verbs can switch from active to passive, so keep that in mind because sometimes it'll be more appropriate to use a passive verb in your essay. For example, the present simple, I use E2 English, could become E2 English is used. The past simple, I used E2 English, could become E2 English was used. Or the present perfect, I have used E2 English, could become E2 English has been used. So knowing which verbs to concentrate on will help to speed up your writing. There's certainly no need to include more obscure, less common verb types, unless they're needed, of course. The last piece of the puzzle is proofreading. It's highly likely that you'll make grammar mistakes, bad vocab choices, or spelling errors while writing your essay. So you need to make sure that you proofread your essay before you submit it. Now, you can wait until the very end to proofread, but this is not the best option. You should be proofing as you write. So whenever you finish a sentence, a paragraph, go back and reread it. There are common errors that you need to be mindful of, like plural nouns. Do you write website or websites? Articles. Do you write websites or a website or the websites? Be careful of subject-verb agreement, like the website is versus the websites are. And think about word choice. Is the word you're using precise, or are you repeating the word too often? Then there are the paragraph structures and the central argument, which you can learn about in this video here. You can find it by clicking the link in the description below. So keep those common errors in mind as you write. And of course, as you write, you want to make sure you're writing on topic. So reread the question prompt every few minutes to make sure you're not deviating. And that's that. Let's quickly recap the time-saving measures you need to implement so you can write an essay fast. So you need to read and reread the prompt. Then you need to plan and you need to ask yourself those 3 critical questions. Then you need to use the E2 essay structure. You need to also think about your sentence structures and try to use a variety of them if you are able. Then you need to think about grammar and vocab and especially focus on the verb tenses, those 3 most common verb tenses. And finally, you need to proofread, but do this as you write. Don't leave it to the end. Hopefully you found that helpful. Remember that if you need more support, then check out e2english.com and sign up for our online free English courses.